Alright guys, welcome to my Back to Eden garden. Now before I take you for a tour, okay, maybe I won't take you for a tour. As you can see, this is a weed garden now. It is a Back to Eden weed garden. It wasn't always that way. The first year, it worked pretty good. Second year, we had some weeds, but no nitrogen. Nothing was growing. We had zero nitrogen in our soil. It wasn't even registering. Second year or third year now, the weeds have taken over. It got so bad in here that we would start de-weeding here, and by the time we got over here, the weeds would just start growing again. It was just non-stop weeds. Not to mention that, the pests, the bugs, the fire ants. Fire ants here are just crazy. And as you can see here in this picture, or in this video, they're just all over the place. I mean, these mounds are just everywhere around here. And what they do is they love the wood chips. It's a perfect home for them. It's nice and moist in there. There's a lot of the mold that they eat also in the wood chips, or fungus I should say. What they do is they climb up my eggplants, the stem of the eggplant, go to the leaf stem. 5 or 6 of them would encircle the stem and just start eating away at it until the leaf falls. So I'd come back to my eggplants and the leaves would be falling off. And there was ants just eating away at the leaves. Caterpillars and bugs that I've never even seen before. Just eating everything in here. And chiggers. Chiggers are little mites, little miniature microscopic almost spiders. And they lay little larvae under your skin, and it just makes your skin itch and itch and itch. We couldn't even come in our garden anymore, do anything, because every night we'd be itching, and we'd be putting rubbing alcohol all over our bodies just to kill the mites and the larvae. It was just out of control in here. We couldn't take it anymore. I was just fed up. I just threw my hands up in the air and I said, forget this. Just forget it. Now, I'm not saying the Back to Eden garden doesn't work. What I am saying, it doesn't work here. Okay? In the south here, for some reason, I've seen other YouTube channels like Deep South Homestead. I watched a few of his videos about this subject, and he said that it just doesn't work where he's at. And we are pretty much in the same line in the south here, and we both got very humid, moist climate, but very dry as far as rain in the summer. It just doesn't work down here in the south. And if it works for you where you're at, great. You know, I'm not saying it's not good, it doesn't work. So if you're a Back to Eden purist, don't get mad at me, all right? But I do have I hope it's a solution, something that might help. What I might do, and this was suggested to me in a comment too, and it made a lot of sense. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mow this all down, okay? And take all this, and I'm just going to throw it into my chicken run, and it'll act as bedding for them, and maybe they can get some food out of it too. So I'm going to mow this all down, but I'm not going to pull this out. If you think I'm going to sit here and pull this out and break my back, no. I'm going to mow it all down, and then whatever's left, I'm going to till it all in. All right? Then I'm going to put plastic over it. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the regular plastic sheets or that woven plastic weed barrier that they use in nurseries and things like that. I'm not sure yet, but that will keep the weeds from coming up anyways. It won't kill the weed seeds. So weed seeds will survive for years, okay? But that'll keep the weeds down. I don't know about the bugs. The bugs will probably still come up because they're living under there, all right? We're going to try that because our potatoes do well. They do fairly well here. I'm surprised they don't get eaten up. I'm really surprised. I have a few that you can see that are eaten up by some kind of bug or something. but it's not that bad, surprisingly. And my Italian squash, my cucuzzas, I'll put a video here about my cucuzzas. But they do very well. They're very easy to grow, and they do very well in here. I was going to take the wood chips out of here and put them in my new orchard garden that we're starting. But then I thought, why should I do that and bring all the bugs that are living in here over there? So I said, no, that's not a good idea. So rather than just completely abandoning this, we're going to try to use it for some things that do well. All right, so I just got done mowing it. Mowing my garden. That makes a lot of sense, huh? Anyways, I just got done mowing my garden. I didn't do this area here. It's because we have pepper plants still growing here. These here, this here is still pepper plants. This is a weed. Anyways, so now what we're going to do is rake up all we can, throw it into the chicken run, and it'll be good bedding for them and food. And the rest, we're just going to till it all in. Okay, I don't think this is going to work out that great. I'm not going to bust my butt here. Seems to be working out a little better. It is mulching everything up and burying it basically, which is fine with me. My wife here, she's pulling out whatever she can and giving it to the chickens. And I want to show you this wood chips, what it's turned into over the last 3 years. All right, so you can see here, these are no longer wood chips. It's really broken down, and it is nice. I really wish the back of the Eden garden would work here in the south, but unfortunately, because of the weeds and these little pesky bugs and stuff, it's hard. It's very hard. But anyways, it is feeding the soil nutrients, and it is holding moisture, which is great. So if it'll work with the plastic weed barrier, I'm going to try it. All right, so we started tilling, or just skimming the top to, you know, mix in the weeds and the root systems and all that, and have that compost through the winter. Then I got this bright idea. We have I think it's 5 or 6 buckets, 5-gallon buckets full of chicken manure that I should put in this garden. That'll give the chicken manure time to break down over the winter, and I'll be ready to plant my potatoes in here, my Italian squash, and there's a few other things that do well in here. Not much though. But at least they'll have some more nutrition with the manure. The worms will love it, and so we're going to try that. So as you can see here, this is a beautiful sight to a gardener. And let me tell you, the aroma right now of ammonia is just wonderful. Not really. Alright guys, so we have approximately 7 buckets. It's not enough to do our entire garden, I don't think. So up to where our cucumber trellis used to be, that's about our halfway of our garden right there, halfway point. So this area right here, we're going to plant potatoes next year. They seem to do well here. Putting this fresh manure in here and tilling it in, we'll have time. It'll give it time to break down over the winter. Our winters here are not that cold. They're pretty mild, especially being underneath here. They'll never freeze. And the bacteria, the worms, whatever, the maggots, whatever's in there, they'll break that all down. In fact, a lot of it is broken down because some of these have been in buckets for quite a long time. So they're really broken down. So we're going to spread it out by hand and rake it all around, spread it out nice and even, and then till it in. Alright guys, I am all done tilling in the chicken manure. Next year we're going to do something different. Since the weeds here are out of control, you saw how the weeds were in here, we just can't control it. But I did find a way that we are going to be able to control the weeds. We're going to plant our potatoes here in rows, in 3-foot rows, okay? We're going to buy a 3-foot roll of nylon woven cloth. They use it in nurseries. You see it on the ground all the time. It's a woven cloth. It's a weed barrier actually, and the weeds won't go through, but air and water can go through. So what we're going to do is put a row of potatoes in the woven cloth, and then a row of potatoes. So basically, where the woven cloth meets each other in the rows, we're going to plant potatoes there. Okay. And then open that up, and once the potatoes come up, we're going to close that cloth around the potato plants. And any few scraggly weeds that come through there, we can pull those out, no problem. But the main area, we won't have any more weeds coming up. Also, for the rest of the garden, we're going to be planting that way also. I've seen other homesteaders doing it. Like I said, in the south, the Back to Eden garden does not work. But it's not a complete disaster or failure. The thing I love about the Back to Eden garden is it does hold the moisture. And when we go through weeks and months without any rain here, I can dig in here and that soil is moist, okay? So the rest of the garden, we are going to plant some things in here, but we're going to use that nylon woven cloth in here, weed barrier, and either put holes in it and plant right in it, or plant in rows where the hardware cloth meets. So there'll just be rows of hardware cloth and whatever vegetables we plant. Another row of a hardware cloth, or not hardware cloth, woven cloth, and another row of vegetables. That's the only way we're going to keep the weeds down in here. Alright guys, I will keep you updated in the future. Once we start planting in here, we're going to make more videos. And when I do come up with more videos, I'm going to put them up here for any updates or any future videos on this garden. Alright guys, so that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.